All right, today is Thursday, March 16th, and today was did not go as planned. We had a huge move up all day today. Pretty much moved up the entirety of the day, and I still went negative. So, kind of a crazy day. At one point, I was up $180, and then I gave it all back and then some. So, I decided to finish the day negative $340. So, I'll break down exactly how that happened today. My first trade was at 10:45, and this is when about 10 o'clock is when things started to just kind of rip up. I was waiting until we had passed this level here at 39.18 to get long. I got long, but I still wasn't sure how long the move was going to keep going, so I ended up just taking a quick scalp. I think I made about 60 or 70 bucks here. The move kept on going, and for a majority of the move, I was a little bit concerned about FOMO, and I really didn't want to like get in too late and then risk it turning around on me. It didn't seem like the right opportunity, just because everything just kept moving up and up and up all day pretty much. So my second trade came when we had this pullback here at, let's see, 39.70. I had 39.70 as the top of the trading range that we had been in for, I want to say, about 10 days. And we had kind of just been bouncing up and down between 39.70 and the lower end of the range for quite some time. So this was actually a pretty big level for me. I did see this kind of large wick as it approached the zone. It was about 39.68. And then I was kind of expecting not necessarily a reversal, but basically a big pullback from this level because it was the top of the range and I was expecting a lot of selling. So took a quick scalp short here, and I made, I think, maybe a quick $100 on this scalp. It got out pretty quick because I realized it wasn't going to continue. And so by this point, two trades in, I was up $180, and I took a nice lunch break. I enjoyed my day, and then I decided to come back and give all of my money back. So what happened? We kept moving up. We just kept punching through all the levels. Just so much buying was happening today. As we started to approach 4,000, I didn't make any trade until about, what time is this? Almost 2 o'clock. But what I saw here was, I was thinking at the time that this 39.95 would be the top of the range today, because there's a lot of selling off here. We had a pullback, and it ended up creating this this lower high here. So I was thinking, we're doing good, we're selling off, and then we tried another pullback, and we still weren't kind of breaching this high right here at 39.88. And so what I'm thinking here is we had one entry long, second entry long, and then we had serious selling pressure. What I had also was keeping an eye on was, since we had broken through the original large trading range at 39.70, what I was expecting was a break of the 39.70 and then eventually kind of a retest of 39.70 as I guess getting liquidity for the next move up. So I was anticipating a move back down to 39.70. So this short entry here, I saw the volume pick up, and on this candle right here, the volatility picked up very quickly. I also found out as soon as the volatility picked up, I had entered the trade, and at that very same time, it flashed down to, what was it, 39.77, and flashed back up and stopped me out. So as you can see, I got stopped on the same candle. My entry obviously was really late, but I was entering it as it was right here, and it flashed right down here. I got filled at 39.78, flashed right back up, and hit my stop immediately in just a matter of probably 2 or 3 seconds. This was an extremely quick trade. Kind of sucks because I gave back most of my profits right after that. So I think I was sitting at like 50, 60, or 70 bucks here after this missed trade. That's just kind of disappointing because it ended up actually right here. It ended up going back down, not exactly to 39.70, but to the same zone, which was 1 point off. So my thesis was correct, where we were coming back down to grab the liquidity around the 39.70. but my entry was not correct. So I think that's what they were expecting people to do and this was just a big trap. Unfortunately, kind of sucks. Otherwise, after the liquidity grab at 39.70, I realized that we were probably, since there was such high buying pressure, that we were probably going to keep moving up. And then I arguably made my best trade of the day. Unfortunately, not financially, because I ended up only making $50 out of it. Where at one point I was up, I want to say $600, maybe I think $500, which is on a single trade, which is kind of disappointing. And basically what happened here was I entered on this candle, played through a little bit of consolidation here, and then saw some pretty decent buying pressure here. And at one point, at the very highest, I was up a couple $100. And what I was doing was, as we were moving up, I was slowly creeping my stop loss up as well, because my original stop loss was at 39.79. And I didn't get stopped out here, so I was pretty confident in the move up, since we had so many of these large wicks trying to move down and no progression. Basically, after we cleared this candle, I moved it up to a break even. I had a risk-free trade at break even. And then as we broke this low and moved up here, I moved my stop loss right here to 39.85. I felt like that was still a pretty decent place for the stop loss. I think I did stop out for a $50 win on that trade. But I was pretty disappointed here. I guess I should have just kept it at break even, and I should have just been fine with breaking even, or, taking it as it is, because it ended up just looking for stops here and it just kept going. So, seeing how far it would have just keep traveling, I was, in my mind, I was thinking I could let this run the rest of the day, just because how much we've moved. And it did end up moving up a little. It kept moving up to about 4,000 by the end of the day. We did hit 4,000 here. So had I managed my stop loss a little bit better, I think I wouldn't have gotten stopped out here, because it literally hit 39.85, which was exactly where my stop was. So it's almost like it was personally coming from my stop loss on this one. So took that one a little personally. But a $50 win, it's better than a $0 loss. So, my next trade was a serious chase here. What I was chasing was, quite frankly, I was chasing 4,000. This last trade kind of felt like a gamble to me. I set an extremely low stop loss. So my entry was right 39.95. And my stop loss was down here at 39.86. So a 9-point stop loss. And this was pretty stupid, because my original target was just 4,000. So risk to reward wise, this is just the stupidest thing you can imagine. I was risking 9 points to get 5. And that is a negative return risk to reward ratio. So, not negative, a sub-zero risk to reward. And I just felt like it was gambling. I set my stop to a point where I was like, there's no way that this stop is getting taken. I knew it was going to 4,000, and it kind of felt like a gamble. Like, in some sense, I was trusting the action that was moving all day today. And it was just consistently moving all day from the very open to the very close. It was just moving up all day. So in some sense, I trusted the price action to continue to do what it was doing, but I also was risking an extremely deep stop loss where I was risking 9 points to get 5 points, which don't do that. I just don't do that. In hindsight, this one really... I remember setting this trade and feeling so cringeworthy that I actually had to walk away from my computer, and I physically could not watch the trade because I knew how cringeworthy it was. And that's how you know when you're not doing something right. So at the end of the day, I did get stopped out here on this huge wick. They were absolutely hunting for liquidity here. They were grabbing liquidity when I got stopped out on this prior wick as well. So there was definitely a trend today. I think a lot of these liquidity hunts were also what's fueling the move up, because you can't have these moves up without getting liquidity from the people that are selling, and getting stop losses for the people who are getting in late. So yeah, it sucks, but getting stopped out for a 50-point loss here, I should have kind of been eyeing for these large stop loss hunts, but these two right here where I got stopped out on just felt kind of personal for me. So kind of disappointing. We did end up hitting 4,000 today, and I did finish the day at negative $343. So at the end of the day, not fantastic, but I didn't blow my account. Tomorrow's another day, and tomorrow's quad witching day. So tomorrow will be extremely volatile and crazy and unpredictable. So hopefully I don't do anything stupid tomorrow. See you next time. Peace.